I cannot do this. There is no way. I just filmed an entire half-hour video of footage, right? Wasn't even recording. I filmed with my phone, filming on my back camera, couldn't see what I was filming, wasn't even on. For 30 minutes, I just did my wrap up and it wasn't even on. That was the first time that has ever happened to me, and I am livid because I have to leave in 20 minutes. Not ready to go where I'm supposed to be going. And now I have to refilm this freaking wrap up. It was actually a good wrap up too. I felt like I was talking good, but no, it had to be deleted. Not even deleted, just not even recorded. Holy crap, that makes me so mad. And now you're just gonna get the bad quality of my front camera because I cannot do that again. I cannot. I need to get through these books really quickly. So this is the bad version of the good wrap up I just filmed. So here we go. Basically, I read 5 books in the month of, what month was this? February, because I had an exchange student. We were doing things every day after school, and while I regret not reading what I wanted to read, I don't regret not reading because I had so much fun. That was the best 2 weeks of my life, and I get so emotional thinking that they're gone now, and basically that was the best 2 weeks of my entire life. So I'm so glad I spent it with my exchange student and not with my nose in a book. So I didn't read a whole bunch. All these books were read before my exchange student came. Sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. That's how flabbergasted I am. Hi, my name is Reagan and welcome to today's video. I kind of mostly do book content here, but I'm gonna have a few other videos like college, exchange, whatever. Just whatever I feel like posting is what I post. So welcome to today's video, and I hope you enjoy. Basically, I need to be done with this video in 5 minutes. I've got 1 minute per book. Here we go. First book I read, Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I gave this book 4 stars. Let's see what I wrote about it. Not even set up for this video because I wasn't expecting to film this again, so I'm not even prepared. Okay. I really enjoyed this book. I love the characters. Archer was such a sweet main character. This book made me want to learn ASL, which is so cool. I've never read a book with ASL representation before. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I read it. I could tell they were soulmates. This book was clearly about soulmates, and that's something I really enjoyed. Also, I've never read the kind of like, I don't want to say soft boy, but like not bad boy, you know, he's like sweet. So I've never really read that before, which is kind of weird. I feel like I normally read like bad boy romances or whatever, but this was the opposite, and it was like golden retriever boy, more cynical girl, and that was kind of cool. I've never really read that before. Also, my first Mia Sheridan book, super exciting. Basically, the reason why I didn't get 5 stars is the last 40 to 60 pages. Kind of just wanted it to be over. I was having a great time, and then the last few pages I was like, okay, I'm ready for my next book. You know, so I was kind of done with it before the book actually ended, which is, not a great sign, but also I didn't distract from my enjoyment really at all. Also, I didn't get the 5-star feeling, so that was another why I didn't rate it 5 stars, but it was really good. Totally recommend. Had a great time. That was my first book. Oh, I didn't really explain what the synopsis. Basically, this is about Bree, who kind of moves to a small town after something traumatizing happens to her. So she moves to this small town that her father and her have gone to before, and she is trying to reset basically. And she meets this guy named Archer, who's kind of like the town not reject. That's kind of mean. I don't want to say that, but he's basically the outcast of the town. He doesn't talk. People don't know why he doesn't talk. Basically, he's just this outcast, and Bree kind of befriends him. She knows ASL. That's how he communicates. So they kind of form this bond, this relationship, and it turns into love. There we go. Next book I read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This book, I had such a good explanation of this in the first wrap up that I filmed. So this is really frustrating. This book follows Celia and Marco and a bunch of other characters. The gist of it is this book is not about the characters. I read this whole entire book through and I followed the characters, followed their love story, followed the side characters, whatever. Great. Get to the end, I realized the whole point of this book wasn't about the characters at all. This whole book is about the night circus. It's not about the characters in the night circus. It's not about the people at the night circus. It's about the circus in its entirety. Interesting premise. It is like Caraval, but for adults. If you thought Caraval was too YA, read The Night Circus, because that is kind of how I perceived it. I rated it 3.5 because basically the explanation is I feel like books that require brain power, which are books like these, books like The Secret History, books like classics, that require a little bit more brain power. I have to read them twice to get the full scope of the book because I've learned that my reading comprehension skills are not great, not because I don't comprehend the book, but because When I read for the plot first, and then I read for the minor details that kind of make up the whole masterpiece of the story. So like this is fully a masterpiece, but I haven't comprehended it yet because I've only read it once and I only know the plot. The second time I read through it, I will comprehend the mastery of it, the little elements that make it magical, that make it this unique piece together story, whatever. So my reading comprehension skills are lacking, and basically I have to read books twice to fully understand them. But books like romance books like Archer's Voice, I don't need to read them twice to fully comprehend it because it's just a romance book. Books like this take a little bit more out of me and require a little bit more brain power. So that's why I rated it a 3.5. I feel like if I read it again, it would probably be higher. This is something I'm mad about losing because what the heck? I went on this whole tangent about this book. Lost into the void. This is why I am so upset I lost the video because I was home alone. Now I'm getting interrupted. The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This is like, you know the series that's like Ruin and Rising, Siege and Storm, whatever, before the Six of Crows? This is like that, but for Dance of Thieves. A lot of people don't know about this, so I've heard. So I wanted to read Dance of Thieves. I ordered it, found out about this series. Was like, okay, let me order that because I want to do it right, Read this book. This is a 400-page book, right? So half to 2/3 in, I realized that I have mixed up the two main characters. We're following Leah, a princess of a kingdom. She's the first daughter. There's this whole big thing about first daughters. I'm not going to explain the plot because I'm about to spoil it. If you don't want to know, if you don't want this spoiled, skip ahead like 30, 45 seconds. But I'm about to spoil this. So I feel so dumb for doing this. We've got the assassin and the prince, right? So one of them is a brunette. One of them is a blonde. I thought assassin, brunette, prince, blonde. I feel like that's a normal assumption. Somehow this assumption was not corrected until 300 pages into the book when she got kidnapped by the assassin, which I thought she had been falling for this whole entire time, but actually she was falling for the prince. I had the characters mixed up the entire time I was reading this book. I have to get going because I have to be done with this in 3 minutes. I had the characters mixed up this entire time. I read almost this whole book through, thought she was falling for the assassin, gets kidnapped by the assassin, and fully was not falling for him, but was falling for the prince, which I didn't like that he was a prince because the assassin plot is way more interesting. But no, she was falling for the prince, a brunette prince. Great for him because I like brunettes, but assassins are brunettes, princes are blonde. I don't care what kind of assumption that is. I like it better that way. So I went through this whole book, got the characters mixed up. It was 2 stars because what the heck? How does that not get rectified like 10 pages later? I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. I feel like this can't just be me because what the heck? This wrap up is gonna be the end of me, I swear to God. 2 more books. So, okay, Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson. I read this for my student leadership class. 1 stars. It was so bad. This book was written for 4-year-olds. You could have read this to a 4-year-old class and they would have fully comprehended it. The upside to this, messages cannot be misconstrued. The downside, this is a self-help book for adults. If you are an adult and need this concept to be dumbed down for you so much, you need more help than this book. I'm going to read you exactly what I said because I feel like it sums it up beautifully. The number of times the word said was written in this book. He said, she said, they said, the mouse said, oh my God, it was absolutely horrible. I just think this is a bad self-help book for sour middle-aged people who hate their lives and careers, including the author. It was horrible. The concept, not that bad actually. Like the message was it was a good message, I feel like. It was about change, basically. But the way it was written was so bad. Holy. It was actually so bad. Like I don't think I've read a worse book than that. It was so bad. I actually have to leave now. So, the final offer. This is a book by Lauren Asher. This is the Dreamland Billionaire series. It's basically this guy, Walt Disney, but not called Walt Disney because of copyright laws, dies. He leaves his inheritance to 3 grandsons. Each of the 3 books in the series follow the 3 grandsons. This is about the youngest, I think, named Callahan. It has a few different tropes. Small town, childhood friends to lovers, and second chance romance. I don't like any of those tropes. Didn't think I was going to like this book at all. I read this over the span of 2 weeks. My exchange student was here, so I read like 5 pages every day. That was my fault, right? I started out liking this book. It was fairly good, whatever. Because I read it for such a long period of time, it was the end of me. I got so bored. 3 stars. If I had read this quicker, it would have been great. I don't even know if I explained that well, but I literally have to leave in 4 minutes, so I need to finish this up. Basically, The Great Gatsby, I'm reading this for a school project. I'm about 65 pages in. You will probably hear about this next month, but I wanted to include it because I feel like there's no content in this wrap-up. Basically, that is everything. Thank you so much for watching this video. If I didn't introduce myself in the beginning of this because of my frustration, hi, my name is Reagan. Welcome to today's video, and now goodbye. I hope you're having a great day, month, week, whatever. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I hope to God I get to where I'm going on time. All right, later.